Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about the Piaget stage of cognitive development presented by Group 10. So this is our group members, which is Hakimi, ATHIRAH, AZRI and me, JANNAH. Piaget's theory is formulated by a Swiss psychologist, which is Jean Piaget. This theory focuses on children's thinking that evolve and develops when interact with the world around them. Children actively construct their understanding through the process of assimilation and accommodation. We are going to talk about each stage of the Piaget theory, which is the Stage 1, sensory motor thoughts, Stage 2, pre-operational thoughts, Stage 3, concrete operational, and Stage 4, formal operational.
During the sensory motor stage, infants develop object permanence, which is the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they are out of sight. For example, a child might look for a toy that has been hidden behind a curtain. As infants progress to the sensory motor stage, they engage in goal-directed and intentional action. They begin to understand that their action can have specific outcomes. Deferred imitation is also observed during the sensory motor stage. Infants have the ability to observe others' action and imitate them later, even when the model is no longer present. As infants develop object permanence, they become more adept at planning and executing goal-directed action. Deferred imitation plays a role in social learning during the sensory motor stage. Infants observe the action of others, store this observation as mental representation, and later reproduce them.
Okay, so next we move to the next stage, which is pre-operational stage or pre-operational thought. So the pre-operational stage is the second stage in Piaget's theory of cognitive development, and this stage will begin around age 2 as children start to talk and last until approximately 6 or 7 years. So the characteristics of the pre-operational stage occurs roughly the age 2 and 7. The language development is one of the hallmarks of this period, or language acquisition. Piaget also noted that children at the beginning of this stage do not yet understand the concrete logic, cannot mentally manipulate information, and are unable to take the point of view of other people, which the term is egocentrism. During this stage also, children also become increasingly adept at using symbols, as evidenced by the increase in playing and pretending. For example, a child is able to use an object to represent something else, such as pretending a broom is a horse. So there are few techniques in the pre-operational stage, which is egocentrism, centration, and also animism. But the famous techniques is egocentrism. So the next slide will show how the pre-operational stage undergo. Bersama saya, anak saudara saya yang berumur 5 tahun. Jadi, nama siapa? Iya. Umur abang berapa? 5 tahun. 5 tahun. Jadi abang, sekarang ni cikgu akan letak air dalam 2 gelas ni. 2 gelas ni ada saiz yang sama kan? Okey. Jadi, cikgu akan tuangkan dalam 2 gelas ni.
Cake.
Mana satu ada yang lagi banyak air? Jadi lagi banyak air. Kenapa?
Piaget's concrete operational thought is the third stage in his theory of cognitive development. This stage occurs between 7 to 11 years old or 12 years old kids. During this stage, they begin to think more advanced and logical thinking ability compared to earlier stage. They understand the concept of conservation, recognizing that fundamental properties of object remains the same despite changes in appearance. They also grasp the idea of reversibility, understanding that action can be undone or reversed. Children become skilled at classification and seriation, arranging objects in order and categorizing based on different attributes. They develop more logical reasoning skills and can draw conclusions through deduction. In addition, they begin to decenter their thinking, considering multiple perspectives. However, their thinking remains tied to concrete experience and objects.
Okay, we're recording now. Can you state your name and your age, please?
I am 10 years old and my name is Piper and I live in California.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to ask you a series of questions and just answer them.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Why does the sun shine?
It shines probably because it's just a big ball of fire
Okay.
and fire shines. So
Okay, great. Why is the grass green?
the grass is probably green because it's growing nice and healthy.
And why do you think the sky is blue?
It's probably blue because however the earth was created, it just had to be that way.
And why does it snow?
It snows because the air gets cold. It starts out as regular snow, but if it stays the same temperature as it passes through, it stays snow. But if not, and it's warmer, it'll melt and turn to rain.
Okay, now can you do me a favor? Can you cover your eyes with your hands?
Okay.
Okay. Now, can I see you?
Yes.
Can you see me?
No.
Okay. Okay, you can take your hands down. Okay, a couple more questions. Is the sun alive?
No.
Okay. Is a cloud alive?
No, it's not.
Is a tree alive?
Yes, it's a living thing because it grows just like us.
Okay, good. Is the wind alive?
The wind, no.
Couple more questions. Do you think dreams are real?
They can be to some people, but to others, they might not believe. You just have to believe it's real.
And where do dreams happen?
Dreams happen when you're thinking of something really good and it just turns into like reality in your mind.
And when do dreams happen?
When do dreams happen? Probably when people are sleeping, or they can happen while somebody's just thinking.
Okay. And are cartoons real?
No.
Okay. When you watch television and you see the things that are on TV, are the things that are on TV real?
Some movies are real, so yes and no.
And if you talk to the TV, do you think that people on the TV can hear you?
No, because it probably happened a different day.
And the people on the TV, do you think that they can see you?
No, they probably can't. Unless they have another TV screen that shows everybody else.
And how do you think clouds got into the sky?
They got into the sky because of the water cycle. It starts out and then it evaporates and just lots of water droplets mix up with dust and it just creates a cloud. And then when cloud gets too heavy, it just rains and it starts all over again.
And how do leaves get on trees?
leaves get on trees? Probably because they just grow. They start out as little twigs and then just make something out of it.
Okay. And how did the ocean get so much water? Where did all that water come from?
It came from probably when, like the water cycle, like I said before, but the water just stayed there and it became, because when Earth, everybody calls Earth the blue planet, so it has lots of water.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's it.
Okay.
Piaget's stage 4 of cognitive development is known as formal operational thoughts. This is the fourth and the final stage in his theory of cognitive development. It typically occurs during adolescence and continues throughout the adulthood. In this stage, individuals develop the ability to think abstractly, hypothetically, and systematically. For the abstract thinking, the individuals in this stage can think about concepts and ideas that are not directly tied to concrete objects or experiences. They can understand and manipulate abstract symbols and ideas such as algebraic equations or philosophical concepts. For the second one is the hypothetical reasoning. The formal operational thinker can engage in hypothetical and deductive reasoning. They can consider what-if scenarios and use logic to explore the potential outcomes and possibilities. This type of thinking allows for advanced problem solving and planning skills. Next is the propositional thoughts. Individuals at this stage can manipulate and combine multiple variables in their thinking. They can consider different factors, make predictions, and draw conclusions based on logical reasoning. The fourth one is the systematic thinking. Formal operational thinker can develop and use systematic approaches to problem solving. They can break down complex problems into smaller parts, analyze the relationship between them, and develop strategies to solve them. Lastly, the metacognition phase. Individuals in this stage also develop metacognitive abilities. They can reflect on their own thinking processes, evaluate their reasoning, and monitor their own cognitive performances. It is important to know that at the age of each individuals enter this stage can vary. The Piaget's theory emphasizes the importance of interaction with the environment and experiences in promoting cognitive development.
The 13-year-old boy. One of the reasons that I would say he's in the formal operational stage is that not only is he able to do the behaviors that the younger children are able to do, namely participate in the game and interact with his playmates and follow the rules, but he's able to apply a relatively abstract concept of strategy to the game. Not only does he understand the rules, but he's able to think in a rather abstract way about the fact that this is a competition and that if he's going to win the game, he's going to need to use some kind of strategy. And in the video, you'll see that he doesn't just buy any property as the younger girl in the concrete operational stage does, but instead he's selective and he tends to buy the properties that he thinks will give him an advantage. And in fact, you see that he does have the advantage by the fact that at the end he wins the game, probably largely due to his ability to think in this abstract way about what methods will allow him to win the game.